This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. Today we're going to look back at some of the best moments from our show.
If that was on air, it would have been one right
That
there.
would definitely not.
What you guys are talking about?
We're talking about hats.
No, we were saying hat trick. She was trying to get some sports terms. And I said hat trick in hockey is when you get 3. And she's like, no, it's a hat trick. Like the French dictionary word.
I didn't realize it was the same word.
Okay.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Al.
Maybe it wouldn't have been the best.
That's right. And after Ben and J-Lo started looking at I don't know what we're reading.
Why are you reading it like a nursery rhyme?
I don't know. Well, you guys were talking about hockey, and now I got to transition to Ben and J-Lo.
Now all of a sudden you're Mr. Rogers?
That's right, kids. After Ben and J-Lo started looking at multi-million-dollar mansions to move into, guess what? We had a lot to say. Take a look.
Could use a little bit of work.
Wow, you guys not coming to my house. You guys taking shots at that crib.
Well, yeah, it's 50. They got it up to.
It's 50 million.
It went up for 65. They got somehow 50. So clearly it needs some updo. They're going to put probably 15 million back into it and sell it for a bit like $1 zillion. It just needs a little up. It's a little Art Deco.
But is the bigger story that like we're here? Do you remember when we first did this story? They're like, oh, they've been seen around doing, and now it's like within almost a calendar year, they're buying a huge investment property together, and I wonder if this is going to kind of stoke a lot of people to just say, what's up with my old flame?
A little second chance at love.
I mean, you let some years pass. They were young and goofy when they first met, as young people are, but like when you get a little older, you get some experience behind you. I think a lot of people might be like, let me call up old so-and-so from whenever that time was.
20,000 square feet, I could marry Tori in. Okay, so, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Separate wings. Yeah. Did we just say that?
Huh? Yes.
Okay, whatever. Cool.
I don't know if I want a house that big, though. Is that weird?
I wouldn't.
I don't like that.
But what do you do like when so if I go in the basement and me and my wife are having an argument, it's like, you came to the basement? What now if you're 15,000 square feet away or something? That means like you're really mad, right?
Yeah.
How
do you keep an eye on your kids?
Yeah.
Two
and your
people
animals,
in there?
and your animals, and the cleaning, like the whole
It's
thing.
too
I don't think you're
It's too
doing the
much.
cleaning, Tori. There's probably a staff. But
How does a $50 million house, though, go for $50 million and it's not updated?
Because it was 65 on the market, so they're gonna gut that thing
Yeah,
and just
taking
put
it
it back
down.
up.
And also, some people might like that interior. I mean, I think they're a little younger couple say they want to young it up. But if like a 70-year-old couple bought that, they'd be like, "This is great."
70-year-old?
I can see an older couple buying that. You got some money?
What?
I know, I'm with Jeff on that.
And
You need a
gold
horse to
back-
get around there. What do you mean, 70-year-old?
I'm sorry, they're not rich people over the age of 70. I think there are.
You don't need it that big.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My scooter would work for that.
How can you tell older folks how big of a house they can get?
Do you need an additional
What?
like bottom on your other shoe?
Okay,
like if you
let's
had that
just
house that
address
big?
it. They're really upset that
The orthopedic
when you
connection
have a
to your
boot,
Doc Marten?
Okay, come look. When you have a boot, the doctor.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Doctor requires that you have a lift on your other foot so you don't get back problems, and they think it's the worst thing in the world.
I didn't think that.
It's off-putting. It looks like you have one snowshoe on.
Okay.
She's gonna protect your back, y'all.
you.
I got your back.
Okay. Thank you, Tori.
I got your
love
other
you.
shoe.
All right. Excuse me for trying to take care of my body.
No, that's okay, but you tried to make it cool. Like, check out my beads in my car that I
Yeah.
lean on. You know what I mean? It's like you don't need back beads and be cool at the same time.
I thought it was going to be cool. I was letting you know that you can heal yourself. Like, literally. Like, we are phenomenal. We're Wolverine. Like, if you... What's wrong?
I'm so interested to see where this
No,
is
your
going.
body
It's like a speech from
self-regenerates.
Wonder Woman.
I didn't need surgery. I had a clean break, and I rehabilitated myself.
Wow. Good
Pretty
for you.
cool.
All right. So one of my favorite moments was just now, and a different one was when Tori told us all about her worst first date, and it was pretty
remember
bad.
this.
Like, a pretty epic epically bad.
Was it?
Go ahead.
Was it?
My first date ever in Cleveland. First of all, shout out to Cleveland. I went to the ground round. I think I told you.
Where you throw peanuts on the ground?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's the Brown Derby and the ground round. They're very different establishments. But I took a young lady to the ground round, and I was this is pre like debit cards almost. This is my first date ever, and the check came, and I pulled out like a check to pay with because I didn't know you couldn't pay for dinner with a check. So I was like, what restaurant should I make this out to? And the guy was like, no, bro. And I had to go home and get money from my dad and come back. Not great. Jeff, what about you?
I love that story.
I was always like a long-term dater, so I don't like remember if they weren't going well. It just wasn't going well, and there wasn't like a second one. So I don't really have like. I wish I had a funny story.
You just always
for
have
you.
great dates.
No, not
No,
good, but it's not like I'm Seth Rogen telling a story. You know, woo us, please.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
Did an angry Irish man come on a horse to come
And
get you?
rip your bodice?
No.
Yes.
Did anybody not understand?
I didn't want to rip.
Bodice
I didn't.
ripper?
That's the name of the romance novel.
That's very problematic.
That's problematic. I agree with
2022.
Al there. Bodice ripper.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're in love.
No. So then why don't you wait for her to just take it off? Why do you need to rip it?
Not as much romance.
What is your worst date?
My next door neighbor, who I was dating in 6th grade, and I was in love with. You know who you are. His family still lives behind my family. He invited me on a date, and then he invited my best friend on the date.
Oh, no.
And then he told both of us he's choosing between one of us.
What a jerk.
That's a baller move.
And then he took us quietly like The Bachelor and had a side talk, and I was told I was not the one.
Who is he? Who does he
I
think
love
he
this
is?
kid.
He's actually a really lovely man, and he's just gotten married in Mazel Tov, but it has ruined
Did he
I mean,
take 2 brides to his wedding? He's like, one of you guys is going on this magical ride with me.
It was hard. It was harsh, but I learned about rejection early on, so that was good.
Jeff's never had a bad first date.
Oh, get out of here. I didn't say that. I said I don't have like a movie like The Bachelor over here.
Very well said.
Yeah, you're there.
Tori's finishing her pizza over
It
there.
was so good.
It really was.
Delicious, right? I like when a pizza isn't too fluffy. There's enough to, like, it's thin enough.
I like a thin crust.
Yeah.
I bet Jeff likes Chicago deep dish.
Okay.
I actually don't. I like New York, but when I go home, I'll have like a piece of Chicago pizza. How did that get here?
All
We're
right.
still eating on set.
It's delicious.
The Anna Delvey story had everyone talking. Take a look at how her crimes divided the panel. With Anna Delvey, or Anna Sorokin, I think people were more into the fact that she chased the American dream. She conned the most influential people in New York City, and she was like 25 years old.
Yeah.
She almost got a $41 million deal from a bank, all based on a lie.
And she did it from her, just there's no resource, just her mind.
But why does that resonate with people? Why do people like that?
It's sort of a dream in some respects. She sort of lived the American dream, although none of it was real. She sort of did it,
And she was
in a way.
generous. She gave away the money to all her
Yeah.
friends. Did you see
I don't know if I'd go that far. That's kind of what I want to get into. Like, you're making her some sort of hero
I'm not
in a
trying
way.
to.
Just because she's really good at being a criminal doesn't make her a good person. She's not different than the Tinder swindler who did things, or people that con other people out of money.
I would disagree with you there.
I don't know why we look at things, and this is a minor thing. I mean, you're swindling people out of money, but we get obsessed with like these characters. If you say one thing wrong on television, people want your life over. But if you murder 300 people, people want to hear your story. It's just weird, the fascination that we have and what we choose to like and who our heroes are throughout history.
I just
it's
really want
it's
to
very
interject
weird.
and say I do not think she's a good person.
Of course, yes.
At all. I think that's important. My point was what Shonda Rhimes said was we're so quick to penalize and criminalize her when there's a lot of people in different corporations just like her.
I thought
and I think the Tinder swindler really quickly is different because he threatens people's lives. I don't ever recall her ever threatening someone's life.
Just really quickly, I do think the difference is, Jeff, to what you're speaking of, it's about greed. We tend as a culture to not really care as much about greed and actually celebrate it. Like you think about Wolf of Wall Street, we got our best looking actor to play that. You think about the original Wall Street with Michael Douglas. He was the best looking actor, the biggest male actor at the time. And it's kind of like if you're greedy, it's kind of highlighted. Anything else, we don't do that. But it's a weird thing with greed. We're not that mad about it.
Great point. Before we move on, she has a really unique accent. I feel like both of you could nail it.
You do it.
Me and my wife always say, you're so basic.
That's That's good. Tori, you do it. Tori, oh, she brought glasses.
Why you dressed like, y'all look so pa?
That was good too.
That was good.
Thank you.
I'm
You
gonna
brought
go.
those glasses up here for that?
I'm gonna go with Tori because she brought the glasses.
Thank you
She
so
brought a
much.
problem.
You went the extra mile, Tori.
Thank you.
You put me on the spot to do that, and then you put me down, like not winning. How about
but you didn't bring
congratulations to
glasses.
both of you for putting yourself out there?
You're so basic.
That's what I just said.
That's good. Okay. that was
Next time
good.
you ask me to do something and I don't do it, this is why.
He's so vengeful. Yep, my husband does the same thing. Like, I'm not tit for tat like that. You're vengeful.
Oh, yeah, I'm very spiteful. And thanks for the reminder, old Jeff.
Tori, we make a lot of fun, you know, sometimes when jokes miss. That was hilarious. That was really good.
Now, okay.
Don't get it all crazy.
No,
here.
I
She's
actually
gonna
have some
put
good
this on a
impressions. I
clip.
can do a Robin Leach.
All right, let's hear her.
Robin Leach, and then we're going to talk to Delvey.
Ready?
Okay.
I see a golden toilet.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
love that.
That's-
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
That's it.
Good
Do
you
job,
have any more?
Tori.
Yeah, I can have one more.
Let's-
Who's that?
Don't touch the hair.
Who's that?
That's John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever. Okay, sorry.
Wow, you lost everybody.
Oh my
Go
God.
back to Anna Delvey.
Whoa. Okay, so
That was
really
good.
quickly, because that Anna Delvey had not become the big hit series when we were talking about that. I know y'all have all seen it. Now, what do you think?
I think she's a bad person, but I'm captivated by her.
Okay, Jeff.
It was an interesting story, very interesting, but I'm sticking to what I said with, like, you know, if you say a bad thing, if you offend somebody, it's almost worse than murdering somebody. Murderers are like, oh, we want to know why you did that. Offended people, move out to the farm.
But
Don't talk to me ever again.
let's go with your offended thing. But then you think about like mass fraud. Somebody like Elizabeth Holmes, who ran Theranos, who took so much money from the government, from investors, like billions. And because she's an attractive college dropout, she's got a couple series. And
How's that any different from lobbying when it comes to politicians? Like, why do they get away with it?
Lobbying?
Yeah, lobbying.
Well, lobbying is you're trying to persuade someone to do something.
Isn't that a bribe?
It's the same thing.
No, you're persuading an idea.
You're taking money for your own interests. Let's be real.
That's a much better way of saying it, but I will say she, the Elizabeth Holmes woman, said she invented something and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But that's fraud.
Yeah, that's different
But
than
she's
lobbying.
not treated as somebody else that was like scamming older folks. Like, it's a weird thing when you're young and attractive. You get Netflix series.
Absolutely.
You get
It's
podcasts.
ironic.
You have Twitter followers. But if you're old and you rip off old people, they're like, oh, let's put you in jail, which you both should go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange how we look
know.
at attractive thieves.
True. Very true. Coming up on DBL, we chat with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Tori wish she was
I'm outta
part
here.
of this
I'm not even
interview.
part of this interview.
He even plays the drums for us.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
He loves us.
Most of us have heard the saying, you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. With this heat, is that enough water? The question, should everyone always be drinking exactly 8 glasses of water a day? Let's verify.
Our source is cardiologist Dr. Pyle Coley and the Mayo Clinic. According to the Mayo Clinic, water makes up about 50 to 70% of our body weight. Water also keeps your temperature normal, lubricates and cushions joints, and protects sensitive tissue. But Dr. Coley says many may not need the traditional 8 glasses.
Every day should not necessarily be the same amount. It should be adjusted up and down based on what you're doing.
So where does the standard 8 glasses of water come from?
That 8 glasses of water came from the fact that, based on a 2,000 calorie diet, for about every calorie that you consume, you need about 1 milliliter of water. That's about 2 liters or about 8 glasses.
Coley says the best way to tell if you're getting enough water in your system is the color of your urine.
It should be very light color. If it's starting to get dark yellow, that means you're not drinking enough.
It also depends on your activity level and if you are in a warm environment. The Mayo Clinic states most healthy people stay hydrated by drinking water and other fluids whenever they feel thirsty. For some people, fewer than 8 glasses a day might be enough, but others may need more. Dr. Coley says you can actually get water poisoning if you drink too much.
You drink so much water that you dilute out the salt in your blood.
So we can verify that no, not everybody should always drink exactly 8 glasses of water a day. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
I'm Travis Kalanick, and I will never back down from a fight. And if no one wants to believe in me, I'll make them believe by being undeniable.
Welcome back. That was a clip from Super Pumped, The Battle for Uber, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Dang it. And earlier, Joseph sat down with us to chat all about it. Take a look.
Our viewers have been writing in like crazy. They were all big fans of yours, as Tommy, obviously, the instant sensation from Third Rock from the Sun. Well, they want to know, would you ever do a reunion with the rest of the cast? Has that ever been brought to your attention?
Oh my God, that would be so fun. Of course, those folks are like my family. I love John and Jane and Kristen and French, and I love them.
Oh, so we might have a reboot, a reunion of sorts. Yes, okay.
Sounded like there's a chance.
I mean, I think, though, the problem with the premise of Third Rock from the Sun was aliens come to Earth, and what's happening on Earth today is so actually bizarre that the aliens would just be like, it wouldn't even be strange. Like, we couldn't even satirize it. It's totally weird what's going on in the world.
They would leave.
I agree.
They would turn around and leave. Albert over here said nice drum set, even though he knows nothing about drums.
I know when I see a nice set of drums.
I just got to know, are you a drummer? Tell us about those drums.
No, the drum set, if somebody breaks in, they trip over it. Yes, he's a drummer.
Oh, look.
Oh, where's he? Is he going? Oh, Joseph! Yes, buddy!
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
You just became our favorite interview ever. We've had everybody from Matthew McConaughey and we love them all, but you are now DBL's favorite.
So let's talk about Super Pumped, The Battle for Uber. What did you learn about the business world that shocked you the most?
So they had this program, secret program, they called Grayball. It was built, this was them building software to break the law. They were just breaking the law at scale, paying teams of engineers to build software that breaks the law and just getting away with it and making billions of dollars. And, you know, when you've got a system that incentivizes profit over anything, this is what you get.
Wow. It's funny when things like that come to light, the audience, so to speak, doesn't even care.
I don't know, though. I'm going to defend the social activism. I know that there's a lot of negatives when it comes to social media, but a lot of times when we do see something brought to light, I mean, look at the R. Kelly documentary on Lifetime. All of a sudden, you have these hashtags, you have these social justice warriors, and it does evoke change. So I understand your point.
Yeah. As long as they take the next step.
Yes.
I think that's the key. Like, you can use, like, social media can be a good tool as long as it doesn't just exists on social media. If all you're doing is sitting there and writing hashtags, you haven't done anything. But if the hashtag then inspires you to go out and do some work, to volunteer, to get involved, to like change your career or whatever it is you're going to do, then okay, cool, now you've made a difference. But just being on social media, I do think that you can convince yourself you're doing something useful when really all you're doing is earning ad dollars for Facebook.
Well said. You play Travis Kalanick, the co-founder of Uber. I gotta wonder, does it make you a little bit nervous knowing that Travis might be watching your portrayal of him? Have you ever talked to him, or what are you thinking?
So I talked to a whole bunch of people that worked closely with him, and I wanted to learn more about him than what you just see in the press, because what you mostly see in the press is his questionable behavior and some arguably unethical decisions. And I actually learned from talking to a lot of people that work closely with Travis that he was really well liked and loved and really inspiring and really positive and really winning in a lot of ways. So I was trying to find that balance of that, because to me it's those complexities, it's like that messiness, the two sides of the equation that make for a fascinating character to play as an actor and to watch as an audience, I think.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Well, I do want to disagree a little bit. I think that instead of complexities, it's just like everybody, you just label them good or bad, and then that's how life works. It's not about, you know, people have different motivations.
Right.
It's that they're just bad people or great people, and there's no in between.
Right. So I'm seeing the light, man. That just makes everything so simple.
Snap decisions that make no sense as to how I get through life.
Oh my gosh, Joseph, thank you so much for just making us laugh and keeping it real. For everyone at home, remember to watch Super Pump, The Battle for Uber on Showtime. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Brother.
Have a fantastic day. Thank you, brother.
He said brother.
I don't know why. I love him so much. Joseph, you're awesome.
You're dope,
thank you.
Thanks, buddy. That was great.
Thank you all. You were really fun. Thanks for that.
Thanks, brother. Come back.
Bye.
QR codes have become popular with restaurants and other businesses throughout the pandemic as a touchless way to share information. Verify viewer Stephanie told us she received a postcard in the mail claiming to be from Amazon.com and inviting her to test a new product. The postcard said the recipient could scan a QR code to register their name and contact information if they're interested. And she wanted to know if it was legit. So we reached out to Amazon and they confirmed that the postcard that Stephanie received, it's a scam and it's not authorized by Amazon. The company encourages people not to respond to these types of messages. And that led us to question whether scammers can use QR codes to steal your personal information. So let's verify. Our sources are the Better Business Bureau and the FBI. Both the Better Business Bureau and the FBI issued warnings about QR code scams. The BBB says QR code scams are on the rise and have become a way for scammers to, quote, disguise malicious links since they can't be read by the human eye. The FBI says, quote, cybercriminals are tampering with QR codes to redirect victims to malicious sites that steal login and financial information, unquote. So we can verify, yes, scammers can use QR codes to steal your personal information. The BBB and the FBI offered these tips for avoiding QR code scams. 1. Don't scan QR codes that come in unsolicited messages from strangers, even if they promise gifts or other opportunities. 2. After scanning a code, check the website URL to make sure it's authentic before entering any personal information. And finally, don't download apps from QR codes. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
When you fall and can't get help, you will lie on the floor for hours or days in constant, terrible anguish, which often results in a tragic outcome. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, whether at home,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower.
or on the go.
Help! I'm in the park and I can't get up.
And batteries never need charging. Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-686-0229. That's 1-800-686-0229. Call now, 1-800-686-0229.
The average price per gallon of gas still hovers near $5 nationwide. It's a cost unsustainable for the average American's average travels. So what if a super simple hack could shock the burden at the pump? Viewer Janice Sumner shared some ways to save per, quote, the experts. The top tip is to fill your tank late in the evening in the coolest part of the day. So is it true filling up in the coolest part of day saves significant money on gas? Our sources are Consumer Reports and Gas Buddy head petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan. It's basic physics. When gas heats up, it expands. So because gas is denser when it's cooler, theoretically, you'll get more energy per gallon if you fill up in the coolest part of the day. That's accurate, but DeHaan explained the change is minuscule.
Gasoline is more dense when it's colder, but a lot of stations temperature correct on both sides, meaning when the air temperature is above or below a certain threshold, their pumps are calibrated to take into consideration the temperature differentials. And by the way, we're talking about, basically the equivalent of very small, drips. This isn't going to be a noticeable thing.
The same is true for morning fill-ups. Consumer Reports tested the theory, pumping in the cool early morning and warm afternoon. At both fill-ups, the first few gallons were notably warmer than the latter ones because the gas had sat in the pump dispenser. But the temperature-controlled gas in the underground tank quickly compensated for those initial gallons. Consumer Reports also concluded a 15-degree difference in air temperature between fill-ups caused only a 1% difference in gas volume.
These pumps are always calibrated by departments of agriculture and weights and measures. So you're not, this is not the way to save more than 10 cents. This is just small peanuts.
We can verify no, filling up in the coolest part of the day, morning or evening, won't save you much money on gas. It's likely not worth chasing costs to fill up at certain times, especially if you are making an extra trip to the gas station. And there's no consistent time of day when the stations reset their prices. So your best bet to save money at the gas station is to use fuel rewards points, and also inquire if your station offers a cash discount or if it's better to use a credit card that offers fuel savings. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Researchers are seeing a drop in substance abuse among young people. But what's behind the decline? Let's connect the dots. During COVID lockdowns, addiction specialists noticed a disturbing trend: more adults turning to drugs and alcohol. So researchers at West Virginia University wanted to see if young people were experiencing the same spike. What they found was people under the age of 24 showed a drop in substance abuse during the pandemic. That includes everything from vaping, alcohol, and other drugs. Researchers think since kids and teens were home more often thanks to virtual schooling and social distancing, they were spending more time with families than their friends. While the isolation wasn't great for mental health, researchers say kids were less exposed to peers that could potentially introduce them to dangerous substances. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back. We love sharing your questions. Al, we got one for you. You're on the hot seat. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Jamie asks, how did you transition from teaching to comedy?
Honestly, it was like the easiest transition because I was used to talking all day. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I was used to the kind of talking and my voice being the only one in the room. So just at night, it was really the same skill set, keeping people's attention and everything. So it was pretty easy. The hardest thing was like deciding to do it full time. That was a hard thing, but I didn't want to kind of have one foot in both worlds. So I made the transition, and here we are now.
Sometimes the best form of transportation is a leap of faith.
Nice, and the net will appear. Hannah has one for me.
Are we gonna let that go? Those two weird inspirational things?
Hannah says, I just changed to a plant-based diet. Oh. Yay! And would love Sam's help. What are your favorite things to eat for dinner? Oh, I love to make a good stir fry with tempeh. Little tempeh. I'm looking at Michael Dean because he's also plant-based. Tempeh with some veggies. I love a good, I'm not a big Impossible meat fan, so I like to have a black bean patty. I love Amy's and Annie's mac and cheese. DBL's new every day. We'll see you soon.
Good sell.
Bye.